little known facts about Cleopatra. Number 10. Cleopatra was not Egyptian. Although she was born in Egypt, Cleopatra was not Egyptian. Her origins trace back to the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Macedonian Greek royal family. She was a descendant of Ptolemy I Soter, a general and friend of Alexander the Great. The Ptolemies were the last dynasty to rule Egypt, from 305 to 30 BC. After her father Ptolemy XII's death in 51 BC, Cleopatra became co-regent of Egypt alongside her brother Ptolemy XIII. Number 9. Cleopatra was the product of incest. Like many royal houses, members of the Ptolemaic dynasty often married within the family to preserve the purity of their bloodline. More than a dozen of Cleopatra's ancestors tied the knot with cousins or siblings, and it's likely that her own parents were brother and sister. In keeping with this custom, Cleopatra eventually married both of her adolescent brothers, each of whom served as her ceremonial spouse and co-regent at different times during her reign. Number 8. Cleopatra's full name was Cleopatra VII Philopator. Cleopatra's name is a combination of two Greek words, Cleos glory and pater father. Her full name was Cleopatra VII Philopator, which means she who comes from a glorious father. Number 7. Cleopatra had a stylist. Cleopatra's iconic black kohl eyeliner was created by her personal stylist, Iris. A goldenrod was used to trace the long black kohl line from the eyes to the temples, exaggerating her eyes by surrounding them with blackness. Iris was the best makeup artist in the Egyptian court and became the queen's greatest confidant. She was by Cleopatra's side at the famous Battle of Actium, and it was in Iris's arms that she died in 30 BC. Number 6. She was in Rome when Caesar was killed. Cleopatra was living in Rome as Caesar's mistress at the time of his violent death in 44 BC. His assassination put her own life in danger, and she fled with their young son across the river Tiber. Upon her return to Egypt, Cleopatra immediately took steps to consolidate her rule. She had her brother Ptolemy XIV poisoned with aconite and replaced him with her son, Ptolemy XV Caesarion. Number 5. She sided with Mark Antony when Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC. Antony was a Roman politician who was opposed to Caesar's legal heir Gaius Julius Caesar Octavianus, also known as Augustus. She had 3 children with Mark Antony named Cleopatra Selene II and Alexander Helios, who were twins, and another son, Ptolemy Philadelphus. Number 4. Cleopatra and Mark Antony formed their own drinking club. Cleopatra and Mark Antony not only shared a political alliance but also formed a close bond. They established their own drinking club known as the Inimitable Livers in 41 BC. Their relationship was a blend of political necessity, with Cleopatra relying on Antony for the protection of her crown and Egypt's independence, and Antony seeking access to Egypt's wealth and resources. The club indulged in nightly feasts, wine binges, and engaging in elaborate games and pranks on the residents of Alexandria. Number 3. Cleopatra may not have died from an asp bite. The exact cause of Cleopatra's death remains uncertain. In 30 BC, after being pursued by Octavian's forces to Alexandria, Cleopatra and Mark Antony took their own lives. While Antony is believed to have fatally stabbed himself in the stomach, the method of Cleopatra's suicide is disputed. Legend states that she died from an asp bite, likely from a viper or Egyptian cobra. However, ancient chroniclers admit that the true cause is unknown. Some historians suggest she may have concealed a deadly poison in one of her hair combs or applied a fatal ointment. Many scholars now speculate that she used a pin dipped in a potent toxin, possibly snake venom or otherwise. Number 2. Egypt's last pharaoh. Cleopatra was the last active pharaoh of the ancient Egyptian empire and reigned of the kingdom for 21 years, from 51 BC until her death in 30 BC. She reigned with stunning glory and brought everlasting fame to her life and country. It's unfortunate to realize that after her death, Egypt's great dynasties fell away. The glorious country disappeared under the sandal of Rome, becoming a mere province of the great Roman Empire. Number 1. Cleopatra closer to moon landing. Cleopatra was born around 2,500 years after the Great Pyramid at Giza was built, and around 2,000 years before the first lunar landing. That fact means that Cleopatra is closer to our present time than to the times of ancient Egypt's early dynastic past.